Today I'm going to be demonstrating a box diorama card. This is what it looks like, and I'll show you how I put this together. It's very simple. And so I started with a piece of any color blue cardstock that you have. You'll need two pieces of blue and one of thick whisper white. So on the first piece I took some label dies that I have and cut out the largest label out of the first one, and I also took this die and I placed it on the cardstock at the top left hand side by the fold, and I only die cut it just past this little diamond here. Then I took it off and put it over to this side by putting that diamond in the middle and using this little hole as a guide. If you can see that. Actually, I moved it over further than that. This little hole as a guide. I put that in the center of the diamond as my guide, and then I put my cutting plate just to the edge of this and cut out this part of it. I didn't go over here and recut this. So you put the top plate just to the edge of where you want to cut and then cut that out, and it cuts out perfectly like that. Okay, then to cut the second piece, which is the center piece, I took this second piece of paper, which is 2 inches shorter, 2 inches shorter, and I lined up the crease marks on the edge and placed the smaller die in between, and then I put this through the big shot and cut this out, and you get this. And then as a frame for this, for the inside piece of the diorama card, I cut a piece of the silvery shimmer paper, or the white shimmer paper, as a frame to put on that particular piece. But I'm going to show you now how to put the background together. The other pieces that you need are a 1-inch circle punch to make a moon, a full moon. There's a stamp and die in this set of a little deer, and I made one in the color of the cardstock that I am using, and one in a darker blue, not quite navy. I think it is Moonlight Madness. And then I also took this die and ran it through the big shot on a piece of thick whisper white, a piece of scrap, and saved all of the stars so that I could put them in the background. And that's what these little tiny pieces are here. I won't be using the moon. You can save that for another project. And I cut out 2 sets of the trees. There's a single tree and then 2 trees together. And I cut out 2 sets of those. Okay? So those are the pieces that we have that we'll be putting on this card. And I want to start with the background so that I can show you how that's done. Now the stamp set I'm using and coordinating dies are Carols of Christmas. And we're using this die, the deer die, and the tree dies. Okay? And we have a deer stamp. That's what we're using out of this set. Okay? So let's get started. So for this card, I did the background in a blend of 2 different blue inks, and I'm going to start with the lighter color, and this is a different color of paper than I used on the first one, so let me get some ink that matches that. So here I have some ink. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this ink. Let's start with this light color, because then I'm going to put a little bit darker color behind it. So 2 drops of ink. Hope this is in camera. 2 drops of ink and a drop or two drops of glycerin. And for this one, because I'm doing an entire background, I'm going to be using a blending tool. So I'm going to blend that ink. And it seems a little dark to me, so I'm going to add just a little bit of the Whisper White Reinker, just a drop. This one's a little thicker, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see. It does lighten it up a bit. Okay. I want my first layer to be light. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you go over the creases, but I'm just going to mark them so that I don't go too far over, because this part will be hidden, at least half of each side. So I'm just going to apply this ink by going in a circular motion, back and forth. It's very, the glycerin is very forgiving, and I'm just putting a light coat, and I'm going to go down about 2/3 of the way, just about down to there. Okay, so that's the lighter of the 2 blues. Okay, and then I'm going to clean this out. Sorry, I had a paper towel here. Here, I'll just use a Kleenex really quick. I'm going to clean that ink out of my little palette dish. And I'm going to go with the Night of Navy. And I'm going to add a drop of Night of Navy. With the reinkers, 1 drop goes a long way. And then I'm going to add a drop or 2 of the glycerin. I'll go with 2 drops. And because I'm blending into a darker color into a lighter color, I'm going to use the same sponge dauber or blending tool. And this too seems really, really dark to me. So I'm going to put another drop of white ink in this one. I don't want it to be too dark of a sky in back. So I'll put a little drop of the white on there. And let's blend all that together. Maybe should have used a lighter blue for that, but that's okay. All right, so then I'm going to blend this just at the top. And you'll see that it's just ever so slightly changing the color, and just fade it in to the bottom. And the bottom you're going to leave white because you want that to look like snow. Okay, so that'll be our background piece there. Okay, and once again I'm going to clean off my palette with a tissue and set it aside. And it washes up with the soap and water. Okay, so there's the beginning of our background, and now we're going to put our trees on. See how we have the trees in the background. So they're up about, let me get a ruler here. they work out to be about 1.25 inches up from the bottom. So about 1.25 inches up from the bottom sort of puts it right where I started. So I'm just going to place these here, and then I'm going to put a single one over here, right about there. And I'm going to probably guess that my deer is going to be in between the two. He's going to be right about there. So now I'm going to take my piece, my center piece, and set it over that to see if I like the placement, and you can see it through the card. So I think that looks good. I could move the could probably, I think they're just about right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue those down to the background. So I'm just going to put some on the back of the trees. Now on the deer, I have put a half of a small stamping dimensional. I'm going to put him right about there, like that. Okay. So now I want to put the moon and the stars, and I probably should, I did not put glue on the very top of the back of this so that I could put my moon back there behind this one. So let's put some glue on the back of this. It's a 1-inch circle. And I'm going to kind of put that right about there. And now you can put a little glue on the back of the tree and set it down. All right, so next I'm going to take the stars that I have here, and some of them are very tiny little dots, but let's just put them down here and see what we have. There's a couple of larger ones that will be easier to put down, and I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool, and see where I want to put these. I think because this is right about there, you probably want to keep them within view. You could go a little higher, but so I'm just going to put a little dab of glue there and put the star down. Okay, and we'll do this one up at the top. Straighten it out. Okay, maybe a few more. And when you see through it, you can see actually higher than that, so you can add a few more. I just love these little tiny stars, but it is time consuming to put them down. But they do make the background very nice. So maybe one more of these other sparkling stars. Put it up here. Okay, so I think that's enough. Let's see. We have 3 of those, and 2, 4, 5, 6, maybe one more of the other stars. You know, I like not to have an even number. Well, we could even do the little dots. That is a tiny dot. The glue will dry clear, so you won't see that. Have to be a little bit of an octopus to get this to work here. There we go. And maybe one more of those. And then we're done, I promise. Let's see if we can pick it up with the... There we go. Oh. Perfect. Okay, so I think that's enough of that. And so, all right, so the next thing you're going to do is fold these forward. And we're going to, let's see, let's put our frame around. This is the centerpiece. Let's put our frame around this. Make sure it matches up and going the right way. Okay, let's put glue all the way around that. Okay, turn it over and mash it down a little bit. Okay, so there's that piece. And this piece is going to fit in here. And so we're going to glue the edge here. So just put it in the crease. Like that. And fold this over. Make sure that it's okay. That side, and then we'll do the same thing with this other side. And put the glue here. and fold this over like that. Give it a rub. Okay, so there you have the inside of it done. And now we just have to put this piece on. And I'm going to decorate it after I put it on so that I get the placement of where I want my pieces. So to put this side on, you can put the glue on the front. Flap. Okay. And that's going to go on this side. So you're going to do basically the same thing. So you're going to put this in the up to the crease. And fold it over. And that adheres that side. And you're going to open it up and you're going to put the glue on this side. This is the side flap for the right hand side. And make sure that that flattens out because you're going to need it to flatten out to put it in your envelope. And this, by the way, goes in a 5x7 envelope. Okay, so there we have the box made. Like that. Okay, so now let's decorate the front and then we'll be done. So I have 3 trees for the front, and we're going to put glue just around the bottom of the double trees. Okay, and we're going to put these right about here. And then we're going to put this one on the opposite side. They're the opposite of the way we put them in the front, the back of the card. And this one we're going to put down here, about there. And then again, another half of a small dimensional on the back of the deer. If I can get the back of it off there. Okay, and we're going to set him just to the side of the tree right here. About like that. Okay, so there is your box card, your box diorama. And you can stamp your sentiment on the back. I would do that before you put it together so that you have all of this done before you start painting the front and everything. Okay, so there's the diorama card. I hope you enjoyed that. And very simple to make, just a little bit of die cutting, and a beautiful, beautiful card. Diorama card. I hope you have a wonderful day.